Our next story is about China and its border standoff with India. The latest one has been on for 3 years now, and it won't be resolved anytime soon. That's the assessment from the United States of America. The US has released a full report on China's border coercion. Tonight, we'll bring you the details. How does America see China's tactics on the border with India? The US says the threat from China is here to stay, and that's the headline. The PLA has not changed its posture, and its deployments are unlikely to reduce soon. The US believes China will maintain the same troop levels, and this is an important high-level assessment. It's been put together by the Pentagon, it's been submitted to the US Congress, and it gives insights into China's growing military capabilities and its activities in the region. This report is more than 200 pages long. It covers several flashpoints from Taiwan to the South China Sea and the Pacific. But tonight we'll focus on the section that talks about the India-China border. It's 300-odd kilometers long, this border. It is divided into 3 sectors: the western sector in Ladakh, the central sector in Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, and the eastern sector along Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim. The current standoff is in the western sector in Ladakh. Quick background. In 2020, China sent a large number of troops there. They clashed with Indian soldiers. There were casualties on both sides, and since then, China has not pulled back its troops. Now, the US has studied these Chinese deployments, and it gives a breakdown in this Pentagon report. It says China has 1 border regiment in the western sector. It is supported by 2 troop divisions. They've been sent from Xinjiang and Tibet. Now, what are regiments and divisions? They're basically military units. A regiment is a bit like a small team in a sports league. It has soldiers and officers. They usually specialize in one task, and they have a few thousand personnel. A division, on the other hand, is much larger in size, sort of like the entire sports league. It has 10 to 15,000 personnel, plus support staff like medics, engineers, and officers handling logistics. So the US says China has deployed 1 regiment and 2 divisions along the western border with India. And apart from these, China also maintains a reserve force there. They're called Combined Arms Brigades, or CABs. These are essentially combat teams. Their members are drawn from different areas. They come with different skill sets, like the weapons they can operate or the warfare tactics they've mastered. The idea is to encourage integrated operations. China keeps 4 such teams in the reserves, and all of these teams are exclusively for the border with India. So that's the breakup. How many troops in all? There are conflicting reports, but most of them are in the range of 50 to 60,000 troops. That's what China maintains at the border with India, 50 to 60,000 soldiers. In August, there was talk of de-escalation. That's when Prime Minister Modi had a rare conversation with Xi Jinping. They met in Johannesburg. They were there for the BRICS summit. Prime Minister Modi and President Xi spoke on the sidelines, and there was an agreement.
In a conversation with President Xi Jinping of China, Prime Minister highlighted India's concerns on the unresolved issues along the LAC in the western sector of the India-China border areas. The 2 leaders agreed to direct their relevant officials to intensify efforts at expeditious disengagement and de-escalation.
Well, that was 2 months ago, and what happened after that? Nothing. China is yet to commit to any kind of withdrawal. Earlier this month, there was a meeting, the 20th round of military talks between India and China. Military commanders from both sides met. They held talks for 2 days. No breakthrough. Clearly, China is not serious about de-escalation. Instead, it is boosting military infrastructure. And the US assessment says the same thing. It says China has added more facilities in the last year. Let me quote from this report. These improvements include underground storage facilities near Doklam, new roads in all 3 sectors of the LAC, new villages in disputed areas in neighboring Bhutan, a second bridge over the Pangong Lake, a dual-purpose airport near the center sector, and multiple helipads. This is what China has built. Of course, India is aware of this threat. It maintains similar troop levels. Reports say the Indian Army is now preparing for winter. There will be a redeployment of troops and heightened surveillance. So the understanding is clear. China poses a long-term challenge for India. The Pentagon report only confirms that. And the big takeaway is this: the Chinese threat is growing, and it's here to stay.